What's good, everybody? Today we're doing video 5 of the video series, the 10 Commandments of Credit. And if this is your first time seeing any of these videos, make sure that you do go back to find the first video so you can start from the beginning. Now, during this series, we're letting go of all the shiny, new tricks of the trade that's supposed to be out there to help you trick the system and get, to a better financial state or a better credit state. And we're going back to the old school Bible principles that already have existed for hundreds of years to show us what we should and shouldn't do to get better and see improvement in our finances, and more specifically our credit. So today we got a good one. This one might just be my favorite, or top 2, something like that, but this one is definitely a very important one that everybody needs to hear. And after you do hear this, make sure you go back and send this video to a friend or family member that needs to hear this, because I guarantee you know somebody that needs to hear what we're about to talk about today. Now, if you don't know me, I'm Will Frazier, your credit and business expert. And if you like to hear information like this, make sure you like this video first off. Hit the thumbs up button so that YouTube will show this video to more people. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and make sure you turn on notifications so you'll be notified anytime I let out new videos just like this. Now, the commandment that we're talking about today, the 5th commandment, is thou shalt not cosign on any debt for another person. Now, let me say that again. Thou shalt not cosign on any debt for any person. Now, I know that might be hard to hear. I know some of you have probably just co-signed for somebody, whether it be family member or friend. I know some of you guys have probably done it in the past and you know how that worked out. Some of you might have actually had to do this or rely on somebody else to be a co-signer for you. And now, if you are in that position, I don't want you to take offense to this video or anything that I'm going to say in the video, because your situation might be the situation that actually works out to be different. But in most cases, from what I hear from clients and what I've seen for myself, those situations usually do not work out in a good way. Now, first off, let's jump into the verse that I'm pulling this from. So the verse is going to be Proverbs 22 and 26 through 27. And it says, "Be not thou one of them that strike hands, or of them that are sureties for debts. If thou hast nothing to pay, why should he take away thy bed from under thee?" Now, that's the KJV. Let me read it to you in another version that'll probably make it, a little more clear for you. And this is going to come from the Passion Translation, TPT. And it says, "Why would you ever guarantee a loan for someone else or promise to be responsible for his debts? For if you fail to pay, you could lose your shirt." Now, I felt like I had to give you those 2 translations just to make sure you got the clear picture of what the Bible is saying you should do in these situations. Now, I know some of you didn't know that the Bible spoke about stuff like that, but yes, it's definitely in there. So according to what I just read, you should not co-sign for anybody. And so the next time you feel pressured by a family member or friend to try to co-sign for them, you can go ahead and tell them that the Bible told you not to. Now, if I just help somebody out, make sure you leave a thank you down in the comments for me. Now, some of you guys might be asking yourselves, what's so bad about being a co-signer? You want to help a person out that might be in need. And I definitely get that scenario and get why you might think that. But the reason is, a cosigner is something that really doesn't exist. A cosigner is basically a term that is used to make you feel more comfortable about signing your name on a dotted line to help somebody else obtain credit. Now, it does make it sound like you're not as liable for the debt as the person who this is actually for, but I promise you, you are just as equally liable as they are for this debt. It doesn't matter if you sign on the 2nd line, the 3rd line, on the back of the application, you are still equally liable for this loan or for this piece of credit, just like the person who is supposed to be paying it. Now, because of this loan, let's say it's a car loan, like you co-signed for a car loan for somebody, the car is going to show up on your credit just like it's going to show up on theirs. If they make any late payments, it's going to show up on your credit just like it's going to show up on theirs. If they default or get a repo on the car, it's going to show up on your credit just like it's going to show up on theirs, and it's going to affect your credit score just as equally as it's going to affect them. So it's equal opportunity no matter how you look at it. And guess what else? Just as the scripture suggests, if the other person is unable to pay the loan, guess whose phone the lender is going to be blowing up trying to receive payment from? It's going to be you. Going back to what the scripture says, for if you fail to pay, you could lose your shirt. And that couldn't be any more true. whether it be your shirt or your dollars. And if the account goes bad, not only will all those bad things hit your credit, also when it's time for it to become a collection account, that collection is going to be on your credit report too. And if they decide to sue and they're unable to get in contact with the other person who was supposed to be paying it, guess who can be sued as well? You can. And now, of course, all of this sounds bad when it comes to credit, but this can also ruin friendships, but this can also ruin your relationship with the person as well. Because guess what? As soon as that person stops taking the creditor's calls because they have no intentions of paying them, they're also more than likely going to stop taking your calls too, because they know that you'll be calling them trying to get them to pay. And usually once it's gotten to this point, that person has no intentions of trying to pay. And of course, you don't want to pay it either because it wasn't really supposed to be yours. It was really supposed to be for them. So now you're in a situation where you have a debt that's messing up your credit. The other person doesn't want to pay it. You don't want to pay it because it's not supposed to be for yours, and now you're just stuck in credit jail with nothing to do and no options really. And this right here is a real reason why you need to be following principles from the Bible, because the Bible has been telling us what we should and shouldn't do for a long time. And this is just one more piece of information that's been available to a lot of us for a long time, and we probably didn't even know that it was in there. So if you don't follow anything else that the Bible tells you to do, you should definitely follow this commandment to not co-sign on any debt for any person, so that you don't have to have those ugly stares at family members or friends at functions. And so you don't lose your religion when you see that they out in Puerto Rico while they still haven't paid back the debt that they owed. And this will also keep you from losing your religion because you see your friend out on a trip to Puerto Rico when they still haven't paid back the loan that is hurting you so much. Now, if you enjoyed and got some useful information from this video, make sure you hit the thumbs up to like it, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you'll be notified anytime I let out a new video just like this one. And make sure you keep your eyes open for the next installment in the series. It's going to be commandment number 6. At this point, we're about halfway through, so we're almost getting to the end of the series. So make sure if there's anything that you missed or anything that you forgot, that you go back and check those other principles out to make sure that you have all of this stuff embedded in your brain or write it down so that you can practice it and put it in use. I thank you guys for sticking around to the end of the video, and I'll see you guys next time.